Okay, I I saw MMG do this, so I'm gonna do it. Except I have more tiers because there's some places where in his list that there were teams that were on the same tier, but one of those teams were obviously better than the teams that were in that tier, so I just got this tier. So this tier, I also just looked it up, I did not care. Okay. So let's do S tier first. And I know we gotta start it with the Golden Boys. Chiefs. Yep, they won the Super Bowl. They got Patrick Mahomes. Don't need to explain much more. I'm gonna say, just from last year's performance, they're in the S tier. Ravens, Lamar did great. If they get... Here's the thing. The thing is, the offense is Lamar. Without Lamar there, their offense would not be anything, which is good. But at the same time, still, if your team bases off one player, then yeah. What team do? Oh yeah, 49ers. 49ers lost nothing. They gained actually. Oh, not E tier. They lost nothing. They gained. They got better. Except they lost to Forrest Buckner. But if you look past that, and they got Javon Kinlaw, they made their wide receiver core better. Kinda. They lost Emmanuel Sanders, that's a big loss, but they're still S tier. Their defense will carry them. Before I get mad, Saints fans, you got beat by the Vikings in the wild card round. Shouldn't have happened. And Michael Thomas is not better than Julio Jones. So, yeah, that's my reasoning. I gotta say, I gotta put Bills there. Bills having a very good defense. It's not as good as 49ers, but it's still really good. And they got Stephon Diggs. And the perfect quarterback for Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. Oh, yeah, you guys. Yeah, you guys still exist. Packers. A tier. Aaron Rodgers is there, so you'll probably be A tier until he goes away. Yeah, this is just a wild prediction. The Chargers have too good of a defense to not make the playoffs, even though they had pretty much the same defense last year, except their linebackers got better. They gained players that were injured last year. And also, I think Tyrod Taylor is a better quarterback at keeping the ball possessed than Phillip Rivers. He's better at keeping the ball safe. Yes, who knew a scrambling quarterback could keep the ball safer than a pocket passer? Fine, I'll give it to him. So, if you guys don't know, I'm kind of a... No, you're not S tier, guys. Calm down. So even though the Eagles had a terrible draft, let's be real. Do you see what Carson Wentz did with that pile of garbage last year? Like, those wide receivers were still okay, and some of them stepped up. But Carson Wentz carried that team to a playoff spot. Yes, they got destroyed by the Seahawks, and he got injured again. But Carson Wentz is arguably the best quarterback or actually not even arguably, he's definitely the best quarterback in the NFC East, and top 5 possibly in the NFL. Possibly top 5. Okay, let's go to B tier. Now I can put what I want to put. Cowboys. They should be S tier talent wise, but I have no faith in the Cowboys, even though I'm a Cowboys fan. Also, just want to add that the Cowboys and Eagles could be interchangeable if you want them to. Oh, yeah. This team's good. Colts. I don't like Phillip Rivers, but it was a good addition. And also, they're still going to be a good team. That defense is really great. They were actually pretty good before Jacoby Brissett and T.Y. Hilton got injured, and Michael Pittman, and is a really good addition. And they got another guy, Jonathan Taylor. All of them are great. Seahawks, B tier. They would be higher, but I'm just gonna say I'd rather have like yes, they got Jamal Adams, but they gave up so much. They gave like Bradley McDonald, is that his name? I forgot. Is actually pretty good. Russell Wilson, this team will always be good. They'll always be in playoff contention, but they won't beat the 49ers. Oh yeah. Here we go now. They got rid of Jameis Winston. Oh, yeah. They got rid of Jameis Winston, which is a good thing. But also, Tom Brady's better on the decision-making wise. But everything else, I'd rather have Jameis Winston. Except maybe leadership. And also Gronk's old. And he's probably still pretty injury prone. I'm just going to say this team is possibly a playoff spot. Possibly. Steelers. Okay, I'm putting the Steelers in B tier for one reason and one reason only. Their defense is probably one of the best of all times. It's kind of taking you back to when they won those 2 Super Bowls off of their defenses. Like, Big Ben is starting to, like, it depends how Big Ben plays. If Big Ben plays well, this is a Super Bowl team possibly. They went 8-8 with what they had last year. Mason Rudolph and Duck Boy. And this year, they can go probably anywhere if Big Ben plays well. Okay, I'm going to explain this again. S to C tier have a chance at the playoffs. C tier, probably most of those teams don't have a chance. D to F tier have no chance at the playoffs, and some of them probably will get a number 1 overall pick. Actually, I'm going to add one last person to B tier. I don't know, I'm really skeptical about the Tennessee Titans, because I think they're a good team. But that's, like, it's whatever Ryan Tannehill does. They won't win a Super Bowl, but it's whatever Ryan Tannehill does. So, as you see, we have 14 teams here. Those 14 teams probably, in my opinion, could make the playoffs. There's some other teams in here that could maybe prove me wrong, but looking at it, I'd say I'm probably right. Okay, now we're in C to F tier, which are the teams that are less likely to make the playoffs. Browns. All the talent, just wait. Actually, I don't want to put them in D tier because I think they're too talented to be in D tier. They're a talented team. Just they have way too many egos, and Baker Mayfield did not play well last year. But I think he can bounce back. Pats. They have Bill Belichick. And Cam Newton, I think, will do well. Just not well enough for a playoff seeding, and I think they'll see that they have something and sign him again. Texans. I predict them to go 8-8. Probably not in the playoffs. Then again, they're the second team I predict in their conference to go, so. Wait, is it the second or third? Oh, no, they're not making the playoffs then. I think the Colts and the Titans get in before them. Like, either they do, or, like, here's the thing, because they made the dumbest and possibly smartest moves this offseason. Because what they did was they traded away one big target, and then got a bunch of decent targets for, they get rid of one great target for a bunch of good targets. Pretty much what their trade out was. They didn't actually trade for those people, but it was pretty much to trade out. And it could work. But if it doesn't work, I'd say my placing's about right. Broncos. They might not make the playoffs this year. They might. Depends. Well, actually, I put Chargers in A tier. Never mind. They probably don't make the playoffs. I'd say they do. Like, they could prove me wrong. I'm just like, I think Drew Lock can do well. I'm just not sold on him for this season. Then again, if he doesn't do well this season, John Elway might just throw him away. Vikings and Rams. Vikings and Rams. Vikings are good. They could make the playoffs. They lost Stephon Diggs and most of their defense, though, so I'm not too confident. and the LA Rams are on a downward spiral to pretty much where they were before Sean McVay. Okay, to the D tier, Chicago. They have no offense, but they have a great defense. That's why they're in D tier. No, it's just because they're not that great of a team, but D tier's fair. They are ridiculously young. DeAndre Hopkins won't hurt, definitely, but I think they don't make the playoffs. I don't know why, just I feel like 49ers and Seahawks definitely do better than them. Did I put another team before them? Fine, I'd put them in C tier. The Cardinals are C tier. Because I think they won't make the playoffs, but I don't think they're worse than the Rams, technically. I think the Rams could possibly get the 4th spot. It's pretty much the battle for the 3rd spot, but it doesn't matter. Who cares? Falcons, move. Okay, there you are. Falcons, they should be better, but I have no confidence in them with Dan Quinn and their injuries, and also, like, they have the best wide receiver in the league, at least. That's probably because they would be probably way down this list if it weren't for Julio Jones. So, got that. Okay, Raiders, D tier. I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback, because I like Derek Carr, but at the same time, Marcus Mariota's also there, and he got no opportunities on the Titans, let's be real. Like, he had like 4 offensive coordinators. What are we supposed to do? What was he supposed to do? Okay, now it's time for E and F tier. This is where the worst of the worst show up. This is where I show who I actually want. Like, I actually think who's gonna fail. So first, there's E tier. I'm just slightly not confident in them. Just because they have a really young defense. They lost Luis Kuechly. They lost Cam Newton. Teddy Bridgewater's decent, but they don't have the greatest O-line to protect them, so injury's always a worry. Yeah. I'm gonna put Bengals and Jaguars on the same... Well, not Jaguars. Dolphins. Same place. But I'm gonna do something real quick for you. Yeah, Dolphins are in front of Bengals. Now, you might ask why. Why are the Dolphins technically in front of the Bengals? Dolphins have better coaching, in my opinion, 2 better quarterbacks than Joe Burrow at this point. They have technically a better defense. Maybe they don't have good as a wide receiver core as you do, but... And maybe O-line. O-line can be comparable. I think the Bengals probably have the better O-line. But I'm just going to say, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick will play well for this team. Got good coaching, got good everything, pretty much. Bengals, Joe Burrow reminds me of a better version of Jameis Winston. Now, you might not understand, but if you watch some of the games, especially like the big games he played in, you notice he just throw it up to his receivers. If they catch it, they catch it. If they don't, they don't. Maybe he'll adjust for the NFL, especially because he's not on a super team anymore. But he was only good for 1 year in college. So, yeah, that's my opinion. Joe Burrow is talented, definitely, but I think Tua is better. Okay, now let's get to the F tier teams. First F tier team is this team. And the only reason that they're probably the best F tier team is because of Gardner Minshew. I like Gardner Minshew. I think he's a good quarterback. But he's on a really bad team. But he makes them into a bad team. If you understand what I mean. Next team, Giants. I have no confidence in them. I predicted 3-13. I'd say they're probably gonna go around there. The Lions, get rid of Matt Patricia, and then I can maybe move you up. And the football team. The only reason they're here is because their name is so terrible. Why? Why? I don't know. But I'd say they're probably gonna do terrible. Like, record-wise, I'd probably put them in D or C tier, but I just want to put them in F tier because their name is so garbage. If you want me to do similar list, which I'm probably gonna just record anyways, because I need content, and school's about to start in a week, so I need content. But if you want more of this, like and subscribe. This will probably be the first one I upload because the NFL seasons is happening in like 3 weeks. Okay. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe. And bye.